it going? Oh, I'm doing okay. Been in the house today, all rainy outside, but a lot to get done when it's rainy outside, and making a yoga video is always a good idea. And I know that some people are really working a lot from home and are spending quite a lot of time at a desk. So this video is dedicated to all of you out there, and hopefully we will do some things today that can bring a little bit of relief to your body after sitting at a desk for a very long time. So as you can see, I have my chair out. I love doing yoga with chairs. I feel like they can really give us a lot of feedback and also support us in certain ways that, you know, doing like forward folds or things like that might not be as accessible. So I think that chairs are wonderful. So today we are going to work with the chair. So you don't even have to leave your desk. So let's begin. I'm just going to start with some movements in the hands. So I'm going to extend my right arm and use my left hand to move my index finger back. Take about 3 deep breaths. So you probably feel this in the forearms. You go to the middle finger, extend the finger back while pressing the heel of the hand forward. Exhale deeply. And then move over to the ring finger. Pressing it back, extending the heel of the hand. Noticing where you feel this. Gosh, it's so crazy to me. Like, oh yeah, there's that muscle. And then the pinky finger, drawing it back a little bit, breathing. And then last we take the thumb. So I'm going to wrap my hand all the way around the thumb and then pull the thumb back gently in the direction of my forearm. Just noticing where you feel that. And then release. So I try to stay lifted in my chest, and one way to do that is get right on the edge of your seat so your sitting bones can root down and let your feet be right underneath your knees. So I should have said that to begin with. And then I'll extend out through my left hand. I'm going to move that index finger back as I extend through the heel of my hand. Inhaling through my nose. And then exhaling through the nose, or you can sigh through the mouth if it's really intense. And then the middle finger. Over to the ring finger. Feeling it through the forearm. Press out through the heel of the hand. And then the pinky finger. Alright, and then grab that thumb. So we're open the hand, hold on to the thumb, and just draw the thumb back in the direction of the forearm. Take a few breaths. Keep pressing down through those sitting bones so your chest stays lifted. Right? Feeling the base of the body lifting us up is very important. Good, and then let that go. So I like to roll out my wrists afterwards. Get a little movement in the wrist joints. And then shake them like you're flinging mud off your fingers. Okay, and then we'll squeeze. So let's gather up some energy as we squeeze in the hands and squeeze up in the shoulders. You might even tighten up the face a bit. So just feel that tension as you inhale. And exhale, drop it. And then inhale, squeeze. Exhale, drop it. And one more time, inhale, squeeze. Exhale, dropping it. All right, starting to loosen some things up. Now I'm going to ask the elbows and the shoulders to join in on the wrist. So I'll start with my hands in the prayer position, and then I'll open the hands out into like an offering. The pinky fingers are going to stay connected. And so as we inhale, we'll bring the hands towards the face, and then let the hands go back to back. As you exhale, pointing the fingers in and down, and then forward. And then as you inhale, sweep the fingers down towards yourself, back up, and exhale, open the palms. Inhaling. Hands back to back. Point in and down and forward. Try to keep the wrists together. Let's do 2 more. Bringing it back. Opening the palms. And last one, bringing the hands in, rolling the back of the hands, pointing the fingers down and forward. Good. And then bringing them back to the heart. And just noticing little changes. I'm going to go into the neck and shoulders a little bit more. So I'm going to let my left ear draw over to my left shoulder and use my left hand to gently draw my head over. And as I do this, I'm going to push down through this right hip, reaching down with my right arm, and try to feel a little more length traveling down through the side body. Noticing as you anchor the hip, and don't tug the head, just a little bit of encouragement. Relax your jaw and your tongue and breathe into the side of your neck. And then use the hand to push your head back up. And then let's try the other side. Right, notice the difference in the sides. Reaching the left arm down, right ear to right shoulder, and gentle encouragement of that right hand. So looking for 2 points, near the head and down by the hand, and so all the muscles down that side body can start to let go. Try not to clench your jaw, and just breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good, and then use that same hand, press the head back up, and just let the hands come onto the lap. So we're going to do a little spinal extension and spinal flexion. So as we extend the spine, we curve the back like a little back bend. So that's the spinal extension. And then the arch is the flexion. So a lot of times we're like this at the desk anyways. So this pose, right, this extension, the seated cow, allows a reversal. But the movement, that movement back and forth is very nice. It lubricates those joints and also just let some of those muscles have some rhythm and movement. Right? Very soothing to the nervous system when you can rock. So you just want to rock the body, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. So I'm trying to hinge my hips, one, and I'm also trying to move my spine. So some people, the hips may be a little tight. So you might find it hard to rock from the base of the spine. Well, that's okay, right? Work on it. Then I'm going to take us into a hip opener that might help with that, okay? So we'll come back to neutral, and I'm going to bring my left foot onto my right knee, drawing my toes back slightly towards that knee to protect this knee some. And then, if you have a stretch here, just hang out, right? That left hip might be talking to you already. So just breathe, just breathe. So sciatica is a common symptom these days. I hear about a lot of disc herniations and sciatica. That seems to be the trending things for our backs. So I will probably do a video on sciatica pretty soon. If you would be interested in that, just leave me a note in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I should be posting that soon. But this is one of the poses that can be very helpful with sciatica to help relieve the symptoms of sciatica. Okay, and then let's try the other side. So we're opening up these rotator, these outer hip muscles right around the joint. And those can really prevent that hinging motion that we were just trying to do, because they're tight, they're holding the pelvis in place, so it doesn't want to rock so much. So you can stay right here, or if there's more flexibility in the hip, you can always lean in a bit. Okay, just breathing. Try not to clench your jaw. These hip stretches can be really intense. Good. And then release. nice. Right? Try doing those extensions, those cat and cows, those seated cat-cows. So leaning in and then arching back. And then leaning in, inhaling, exhaling back. And inhaling. So as you move forward, feel your feet, feel the weight go on your feet and lift your chest. Push your feet down and lift your chest. And then as you roll back, press your feet down, pull your belly in a little. Right? So try to connect this movement of your upper body to your lower body by connecting with your feet. It's so easy to forget about half of our body, especially when we're just usually sitting and the legs are just kind of down there and we're sinking into our chairs, right? So let's remind our body that it is whole, and by using our feet and realizing how our feet connect to our hips and our shoulders. Okay, let's move into the side body. So I'm going to hold on to my chair with my left hand and reach up with my right hand. As I reach up with my right hand up and over, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to my feet. So I'm going to anchor my right foot, anchor my right hip, and reach up. Reach up. So I want to feel the whole side body. Breathing into this one. And then coming back. Right, same way, lifting up the arm, reaching over, reaching over. I'm anchoring down with that left foot and that left sitting bone as I extend. Feeling that connection between the upper and lower body as I breathe. And then coming back. So lengthening the upper body, I'm going to twist. So twists are really nice to do with a chair. We do want to lift the spine, but my intention isn't to harden my muscles. My intention is to elongate my spine and get those vertebrae spaced out. So I do this by pushing my feet down. And this is why it's important to be at the edge of your chair and not back. If I'm at the back of my chair and I push my feet down, it's very hard to feel that connection. But when I get a right angle, my knees line up with my hips, I can push my feet and my sitting bones down and feel the base of my spine engage. This gives me lift. Once I have that, then I'm going to take my right hand to the outside of my left knee and place my left hand on the chair. And let's just take a few breaths right here. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, just something to rotate and squeeze out these muscles. Take a few breaths. And then we might take a different one. We might deepen it just a little by taking the same hand to the knee and extending down a little bit. And then I can press my arm into my knee and I can hold on to the back of the chair and open up my belly. Right? Open up my belly a little bit and press the sitting bones down. Okay? Remember to find your feet. Press your feet down. Notice how it connects you to your upper body. You feel more whole. It's pretty nice. Right, and then slowly release. Press yourself back up. And you can do this facing me. I'm just doing it this way to show you the angles. Okay. So second side. Again, pushing down. So pushing down, feeling the hips pin the spine and lift. And then I'll reach my opposite hand, so my right hand goes to my left knee, and then I open up. So I'm just trying to get my belly and my chest to turn. I don't want any pinching anywhere. Right? If you're pinching, then ease off the gas a little bit. Press your sitting bones, lift your chest, and then releasing. And if you want to try a little bit more, a little deeper, if you have bulging discs, maybe sticking with the soft, gentle twist. We don't want to do any deep twists. So I'm going to take my hand to the outside of this knee, right? The belly's going to come back a little bit, pressing into my feet, and then I'm going to reach back from my chair and use it just for a little leverage to open up the chest, pushing into my leg with this hand, and feeling the organs moving back a little. So we're just squeezing the tissues, the organ tissues, the muscle tissues, everything's getting a nice little squeeze. Breathing. Keep finding my feet. And then as we release, all those tissues get flushed with nice blood flow goes back in. All right, I just have a couple more to do. I'm gonna show you how to open the hip flexors. These guys that we normally use to walk. That's one of their main functions. But they get really tight when we are sitting in a chair. So, one thing I like to do is I just step on my chair. So I like to take my foot up like so and do a nice lunge, opening up the front of the hip. Now if your chair rolls, this might put you into the involuntary splits, which I do not recommend. So we can also do it a different way. I'm just going to even it out here. So you can see it just gives you a nice, easy stretch. Sometimes that's a little more accessible for people with really tight legs. But I'm going to use the back of my chair. And I'll come into this high runner's lunge, but using the chair to put my hands on helps me keep my chest lifted. Right? So again, looking for that extension in the spine. And then lifting through my back foot as I lunge into the front knee. Notice I'm trying not to let that knee go over my ankle, right? Keeping the knee safe. And then I can bend and extend the back leg as I lift up through the pubic bone and through the chest. You can even push down with your hands a little bit to get some more lift. Okay, so that's another way to do it. Stepping back with the other foot. And same thing, so just kind of feel your way in a little bit. You'll feel the stretch right there in the front of that thigh. And then lift. Open the back of the leg, pressing the heel back. Send the thigh up and back. Lift the pubic bone. Lift the chest. Breathe. Good. And then come back in. So working through the hip flexors a little. And then we've done the outer hips. So now we're going to talk to these hamstrings a little bit, which usually give people a lot of issues. I can't touch my toes. Well, that's okay. You can touch the chair. All right. So bring the hands to the chair, and I'm going to get my hips right over my heels and push down through my heels as I lift my toes up. Bend the knees, pull the hips up. You want to feel the fronts of your thighs engage and the belly lifts towards the spine a little. Right? So lift the toes, bend the knees, pull the hips up. Right, and then lengthen the toes onto the floor. Legs are strong, belly's moving back, right? Just the contents of the belly. So if your hamstrings are talking very loudly right here, hang here and breathe. Okay. You can always take the elbows down, but we want to try to keep the legs straight. So it's better to be here with straight legs than here with bent legs. Okay, just take a few more breaths. Keep the fronts of your legs strong. You can lift the toes again if you need to. So when these are strong, these are opening. Quads are strong, hamstrings are opening. Wonderful. And then you can come out of it. And now we get to my favorite part, which is the inversion. So if you can sneak a towel or two near your desk or a thick blanket, I'm gonna do 2 because I like to have my hips higher than my heart. So the idea is if you get your legs up and your hips up, so you create this little cascade, and I will show you. Whoa. So the back of my pelvis is on the blankets. So you can see my hips are a little higher than my chest. And then I'm going to press my chair forward some. So you can do this, or you can let your hips go up high, or your feet go up higher. You can even put your legs up a wall if one's handy. But this is fine. Legs up the chair. So if your feet, they might get a little swollen sometimes. Some people get swollen ankles from sitting a lot. Or you just, like I said before, we can forget about our legs some. So being able to reverse the blood flow, right, or at least help the veins get it back to your heart, then it can slow the heart rate, calm you down a bit, reset, take a little break in between your activities or your work-related activities. And just taking the hands on the belly, you can breathe and feel the belly rising and falling. And that can help keep your mind present, just staying in a very simple space, keeping your body company, watching it breathe. You might notice that the back of the pelvis feels very supported. A nice even pressure on the low back can be nice after sitting for a while. And sometimes I'll even take my feet, right, so sitting like this a lot can make the hips tight, so taking the knees wide like a diamond and letting the feet come together, that can feel really nice as well. And you can stay here, you can set a timer, do 1 minute, 2 minutes, however long you can spare to rest in an inverted position. And then when you're ready, when you're finished, we can just roll ourselves over onto one side and push up slowly. And then there's our chair. We can get back. And that's like a nice little yoga practice right there with the chair. And then going about your day, getting back to your tasks at hand, or if you're finished for the day, going and enjoying yourself, eating a nice dinner and taking a walk, or whatever it is that you like to do. So I hope that you find this video helpful. If there's anything that you would like to have me do in a video, just leave me a message in the comments. If there's any questions about any of the stuff I've done, leave me a question in the comments and I will get back to you. So thanks for watching and see you soon. Namaste.